Hello, this is a video for my friend Marcy. I have a confession to make. I actually am filming this video again. To cut a long story short, it was on Chevelle's phone because my phone was broken and it just wasn't working out. So I've deleted the old one and I've bought a phone for myself and I'm gonna film it again for you now. So here we go. So all of that you can see is really the main growing area. That rickety old shed in the back there used to be a potting shed and we are converting it into our chook house. All along there is some potatoes, and these are my main 6 growing beds. So these ones are, they're pretty much ready for planting except that one. I just haven't filled them with anything yet. This one is waiting to have tomatoes in, which should be going in very soon. And these are the main 3 that I've got going at the moment. So first, just here we have Florence Fennel. The sun is a little bit blindy right now, so hopefully you can see on the camera what I'm seeing in real life. So Florence Fennel, it has, you can actually eat these fern-like tops, but it has a bulb under the ground that you can eat. Really good with like chicken or fish. I've never grown it before. I've actually never even eaten Florence Fennel before. I've only eaten like the wild fennel, which is not the same, so I'm interested for that. In this bed I have all of my onions. So the first row of squares, first of all I use the square foot gardening method, so I talk in squares and not rows. So this, I've got a line here and a line just there down the other side, and lines all along there to show me where my boxes are. And so this first row of boxes is some onions that I just had left over from last year that I just planted in, and then the next 4 rows of boxes are a new variety that I bought, which is called Pukekohe Longkeeper, but it's a heirloom variety, so I'm going to try and save these seeds. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet because onions are biennial, so I'll have to leave them in the ground for an entire year before they set seed. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if how I'm going to manage that, but that's my plan for the minute. And then this last row is red onions. I don't actually use a lot of red onions, but Chevelle likes red onions and he specifically asked for them, so I did that for him. And one thing I want to show you is see how this square has onions nicely and where they're supposed to be, and then the rest of the bed is kind of like haphazard and all over the show. That's the neighbour's cat. So I sowed all these seeds and I caught the cat in here going all stupid. My grandfather used to call it getting the wind up their tail, where they go all stupid and playful. And yeah, he was having a mad old time here in this garden bed, and now my seeds are everywhere. That's actually happened a few times, which is not a big deal for onions because you can actually transplant them very easily. In fact, that's how a lot of people will just buy them when they're this sort of size. It's called sets, or sometimes even bigger, where it actually has a little onion already forming. So they're very, very easy to transplant. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not actually going to ruin everything. I'll just come back around here. I'm in the middle of mulching these paths to keep the weeds and everything out. So just every now and again I have to come and pull that out. So I'm just going to put another layer, pull them out and put another layer to try and stop them from growing. I'll do that better later. Along here I have beans. the beans sort of met with a little bit of catastrophe, actually. It seems that mice came and stole all the seeds, which is annoying. So this is a scarlet runner bean that I grew from seeds that I saved last year. If you want to learn to save seeds, beans or peas are the absolute easiest thing to start with. You just leave it on the vine until the bean goes brown and papery, and you can hear the kind of beans rattling around in there, and then you just crack them open. So I saved 4, and I planted 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and only this one's popped up. And I'll show you further down some more evidence of mice or some kind of rodent damage. And then along this back row are some seedlings that I bought because I had a little bit of a disaster that I'll talk about soon. But I bought these seedlings from a lady who had grown them and was selling them with an honesty box, and those are called King of the Blues, and they grow big kind of purpley blue beans. These ones are dwarf yellow burgold, so they obviously grow yellow beans, and these are ones that I've grown from seeds. These were some seeds I had left over from last year, and you can see they've got, hopefully you can see the purple stem, because they grow purple beans, similar to how this one has like a purpley blue stem. These ones, those ones there are ones that Tristan actually grew. And here we have some more evidence of mice. So all of this, all the way down there to that brown stick, all the way down there, were this variety of bean, and only 4 popped up. And when I dug along, the seeds were all gone, except for a few that had clearly been munched. And then I've got this one come up, which had its top chewed off, and this one that you can't even see anymore, it just looks like a stick, which also had its top chewed off. So I looked it up, and the most likely culprit is rodents. So the neighbour's cat hanging around, it obviously isn't doing its job. It's too busy scratching up my garden, which is annoying. He could at least earn his keep if he's going to hang around. And here's my peas, and I've got at the back here a whole bunch of grass growing up that I'll probably just end up spraying that when the peas are done. All of these peas starting to grow up the trellis, and even starting to flower, which is nice. This is a snail trap. Don't buy them, they're pieces of junk, they don't work at all. Oh my goodness, I actually have caught a slug. You probably can't see it. I've had these in here for like 6 weeks, and that's the first slug that I've actually caught in there. They just live underneath it. So sometimes when I pull it out, there'll be... Oh, just because I want to show someone, there isn't going to be any. Isn't that typical? They just live underneath it, and oh, there is one there. Can you see that? Do you see it? So now I'll just pick him out and squash him. Isn't that annoying? They're supposed to crawl in there, eat the poison and die, but they don't. They just live underneath it. Here is my lettuce. I come along, these are cut and come again lettuces, so you just pick off all the outer leaves, which I actually do every couple of days. This one's had a little bit of slug damage, so I'm having to come out at night and pick off all the slugs because they just take up residence in the trap instead of getting killed. So you just come around and pick off all the outer leaves. I'll finish that later. This one is a cos lettuce, so it's a little bit stunted because I put it in the ground way too early along with some of my brassicas, because I had an incident with my greenhouse. I'll talk about that more when we get over to the greenhouse portion of the tour. Down here are my carrot boxes. So these first 2 boxes I planted at the same time, which is just, I'll just pick out some weeds while I'm here, which is just a regular all-season carrot variety that I had left over from last year. So I planted these 2 boxes, and then I decided that actually I wanted to do it week by week. So every week I come out and I plant a new box in differing carrot varieties. So these 2 are just all-season carrots. This one is, and here again actually you can see that I've got 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's been munched by something, and 9 in perfect formation except these little weeds that are coming out. Cats again have messed these up, or possibly even birds. So this is a I've forgotten what they're called. I call them Stubby Carrots. Some people call them roly-polies. I've forgotten the name of the actual variety, but they grow little round carrots like that, and I just thought they were so cute. So that's I think that's an heirloom variety. This is a colourful carrot variety in this box, so that will grow orange, white, yellow and purple carrots. Heidi's very excited to see purple carrots. This box is a variety called Chantineae. This is also a heritage variety, or rather an heirloom variety that I'll be keeping the seeds of. And it has, you know, the sweet pale part in the middle of a carrot, the core. In this variety they are red. And here is a box that I planted last week that haven't come up yet, which I've gone back to the beginning to my plain all-season carrots. So today, actually later on after I finish this, I'll plant the next box in the roly-poly, and then I'll carry on going until I get all the way down to the end there. And by the time I get right down to the end, these ones should be ready, or at least just about ready to pick. That's why I've done it this way. So all the carrots that I've planted have a 12 to 14 week maturity date. So I know I've got 12 boxes, so by planting a box each week, when it comes time for harvest, I should be able to harvest 1 box each week. But the thing is that you can actually leave carrots longer if you need to. I've heard of some people leaving them in the ground all winter, which is something I'd like to experiment with when I get a bit more experience. And here are my brassicas, which are getting absolutely decimated by slugs. As I say, I come out every single night and pick the slugs off them, which are having an absolute feast. This one is probably doing the best. No evidence of slug damage at the minute, but like this one's got getting eaten. And also my little ones, which just like the lettuce over there got put in the ground too early. They are just getting munched. This one is almost, not quite, but almost completely gone. All of its leaves are gone. I don't think it's going to survive. But I've still got 4 that are doing alright, except this one. And this is a chamomile, which is a good companion plant for brassicas. I don't think there's anything. Oh, the cauliflowers, I should mention, are a purple variety. So I've read that they taste exactly the same as regular green cauliflower, but they have a lovely purple head. I'm all about the different colours, you know. If I'm going to grow vegetables, I may as well grow something exciting that I've never seen before. These tomatoes are being hardened off. So they're just coming out during the daytime to get used to the cold air, but you can see I've already got a set of flowers, which is exciting. These are 2 varieties that I bought in little punnets just from Bunnings, because I only wanted one of each variety, so I didn't want to buy an entire packet of seeds, just to use one of them. Here are some things I'm going to be planting out today. These are spinach and a squash, which desperately needs to get in the ground because it's outgrown its little container. And here we come into the greenhouse. It's just a little one. It's probably smaller than yours. Not that I've seen yours yet. And this is what I'm calling my little greenhouse. So this is for starting seeds and things. So the story is, I had this before I'd set up the big one, just there where those windows are on the porch. And we got some rogue weather in the night, and I came out and all of my seedlings, 3/4 of them were almost ready to go in the garden, so I've had to buy some things to replace them. You see all this dirt? That was all from my seedlings, and then it actually blew this window down on top of it, which smashed. So I had to pick all the things that I did save up off the ground. They'd been damaged by the cold, and I had to pick them all out of broken glass, which was nice. And I'll just show you these tomatoes. Actually, these were big enough to survive, but they actually did get some cold damage, which, come on, focus. You might not even be able to see it because my camera's not focusing. Maybe this one. There, can you see that? Which is still not fully healed, but they'll be fine eventually. But yeah, so I lost 3/4 of my seedlings. Most of them were ready to go in the ground. I cried an entire morning. It was so sad. It was like 3 weeks worth of work, even more than 3 weeks actually, that was just destroyed in 5 seconds. And I didn't find it until the next afternoon. So yeah, all of these tomatoes I had to start again. You can see there's a lot of them. They were all almost ready, so that's why I've only got 2 that are ready to go in the ground, and I should have heaps. But anyway, I can't keep living in the past. These are some things I had to buy to replace things that I got lost. I'm trying to start some new seeds as fast as I can, but it's just getting a little bit late in the season. I really need to be getting things in the ground. So these were $2 each from Bunnings. So I just got a yellow courgette and a green courgette. This parsley is just because my old parsley is bolted to seed. So I'm going to take the old seed head and just shake it around the garden. But I want parsley in the meanwhile, and parsley takes quite a while to grow from seed. So I bought some of that. These are my cucumbers. I've started these quickly from seed again. Cucumbers are quite fast growing, apparently. I didn't know that. But these are the only ones I've really been able to grow in a hurry, get ready in a hurry. So I had cucumbers ready to go on the ground, and these are my replacements. In these bags, I've got more tomatoes and capsicums. So I'll just show you what I've been doing. So you put the seeds in these bags with a moist paper towel. I've done the same with cucumbers, capsicum, watermelon, squash, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, beans even. And then I just crack open a bag and take a peek inside. And when I find one that's sprouted, can you see that one that's sprouted? Oh my goodness, that has been fast. That has got leaves already. So I'll need to do that one just there today. When I find one that's sprouted, I just pop it in one of these little paper cups or in one of the plastic cups. The plastic cups actually have seeds in already. So you can see they're growing quite nicely. Now tomatoes have, you know, the hairs on a tomato stem. All of those hairs are potential seed, so, potential roots. So I'm planting them in these paper cups, plastic cups, and then when they grow up, I'm putting more soil on, and where the soil touches the stem, it will grow more roots. So doing it this way, they should have a really, really strong root system by the time it's time for them to go in the garden. Here's my cabbages. These were I managed to save from the greenhouse. This is a little broccoli, a tiny little broccoli trying its very, very hardest to grow for me. But this is not a broccoli container. So when the greenhouse got tipped over, it's obviously spread seeds everywhere. So I'm finding some interesting things in interesting places. Like these, I'm calling my bean tomatoes, because I grew all my beans in little pots like this, paper cups like this, and I've got tomatoes growing out of them. So obviously all of my old tomatoes that were in here got thrown around and they landed in the beans, which are underneath. So I've got all these tomatoes popping up in my beans, and it's a little bit demoralizing actually, because my beans that landed in the tomatoes, my tomatoes that landed in the beans are growing better than the tomatoes I actually planted. So just kind of happens that way, you know. These are my beans. These are ones that I'm in the middle of potting up now. These have been in a bag just like this, hanging up. You can do it on a windowsill, or I just do it there like that. These are called Nells climbing beans. It's a heritage variety that I got from the Heritage Food Crops Trust in Wanganui. They'll send them to you for free, or preferably a donation if you're so inclined to want some. I'm growing 2 of their different types of beans. I'm growing the Nells, and I'm growing one called Good Mother Stallard. So those are more purple beans. So I'm going to plant out these ones that are getting ready. I'll probably plant those out in about a week. And the ones that are not doing so well, I'm just going to throw away, because I've almost got enough now and they're taking a little bit too long. Here are the kids' little gardens. These were just left over from last year's, you know, the New World things. This is watercress, thyme, lettuce and carrot. These are Tristan's ones, and you can see, because the pot's all green, that he's been overwatering them. He takes his job very seriously. This is Heidi's ones. That is beetroot, more lettuce, purple cabbage and basil. These are corn. So I had a whole bunch of corn that were almost ready to go out. I've furiously tried to get these going in a hurry, and it looks like they're almost taking off. For the longest time they weren't doing anything, and just over the last week they've really shot up. So I'm hopeful those will be ready to go out with the other ones that I bought. These are some chilies. I didn't bother trying to grow chilies from seeds. I just bought these. Do you want a chili? I've got 7 and I don't need 7. Yeah, so if you want one, I can bring you one when we come up. This is something, I've made another video about this that I'll put up, but this is a ginger that I'm trying to grow. These are just flowers. These are Calendula that are companion plants for tomatoes. And this is called larkspur, which is just pretty for attracting bees. These are more beans, Good Mother Stallard beans. And I'm going to get out of the greenhouse now because it's really freaking hot. And these are some more corns. So I bought these corn because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get some more going in time when my seeds were looking like they weren't doing very much. So I went and bought some more. I love the feel of the corn leaves. So I bought 2 punnets, and I've just put them in here temporarily because they grew out of their little punnets that they came in, and they were looking very sad. So I've just put them in here temporarily while I wait for the days to warm up so I can go in the bed, and I put them away in the greenhouse at night along with the tomatoes. And up here are my hanging baskets with strawberries in them. We've put them up there along the veranda because it keeps the birds away. So I left a ripe one up there for a week just to see what the birds would do, and they didn't touch it at all. So that was nice. If you're wondering what all this crap is, it's supposed to be in our garage. So just before lockdown, we demolished our garage and put all of our garage things on the porch. And then lockdown happened and the garage has just been delayed and delayed and delayed. I'll just show you down there. It's almost ready. So they're doing the cladding. Today's Monday and they're going to start the cladding tomorrow. So that's exciting. And that's pretty much it. Potatoes down there are self-explanatory. The lemon tree, self-explanatory. We're just taking all the lemons off now and filling it up in buckets. The kids have been selling them at the market for some pocket money. I've got potatoes by the 100 popping up in the lawn, and I got a really nice surprise. See them all? More potatoes. I got a really nice surprise because I had some pop up in here as well that I didn't plant. So I actually planted more. I figured if potatoes were already here, then I may as well put more potatoes. But I had one there that the leaves have already died off, so I've already harvested them. And I found some tubers that had like a nice white, they were nice white skins with like a pink blush. And they had these purple flowers with just white on the tip. And I looked them up and they're actually a heritage variety that you can't buy in New Zealand anymore. So that was a pleasant surprise. They're called King Edward. So I've basically saved all of them. I didn't eat a single one because I want to use them all as seed potatoes. For next year, I want to try and gather as much heritage seed as I can. So I've got quite a lot of potatoes going at the minute. All of that is potatoes. Yeah, well, that's everything. I'm sorry this video was so long. I didn't mean for it to be that long. Hopefully you stayed until the end. And I hope to see you soon.